So if we can come to standing, and we'll do a little circle with the ankle, circling with the wrist. Can do that seated if needed. Jen's the right way up now. And let's reverse and go back in the opposite direction. And straighten your arms as you do it. That's it. Okay, and let's release. Give that a go on the other side. I want you to think about your posture. So lengthening up through the crown of your head as you circle. And reversing, spreading out the fingers as you do it. A bit like you're warming up to play a piano. And then we're going to rock forwards to the toes and rock back to the heels. And again, forward to the toes, back to the heels. So you're just kind of playing around with the body weight. Then adding a little roll through your shoulders. So you come up, squeeze your blades and press down. So coming up, squeeze and press down as you keep rocking forwards and back. Breathe in, breathe out. Noticing your breathing. Two more. And taking the feet a little bit wider, softening the knees and leaning over to the side. Allow your head to drop as you do it. And let's give that a go the other way. Breathe in as you lean. Breathe out and lift. And as you lean, I'd like you to squeeze your pelvic floor. And then release it as you come up. So squeeze as you lean. And then release as you come up. Breathe in. Squeeze. Breathe out. Going that little bit further now, letting the head drop. Each side. And then circling the arms from the back to the front, and then from the front and circle back. And from the back to the front, and then circling back. And coming forwards and down and to the back and up. So forwards, adding a squat down, back and up, and forwards and down and back. And you might want to add in a little rise onto the tiptoes. So as we come back up, lift, forwards, drop, breathe in. Breathe out. Two more. And last one. Alrighty, let's come down onto our back. In and breathe out. Are you looking for online classes that support you with getting more me time? You want to get supple, strong, feel less stressed, get in the driving seat. But actually, perhaps you've noticed that following videos on YouTube isn't actually helping you commit. It's not like the teacher reaches out and says, correct your hips, bring your knee back, move your posture back. And this is the problem. So, of course, you can hit subscribe to get more from the Zigs YouTube channel. But let's face it, We're not going to send our children to a school without a teacher or a tutor. I mean, what's their life going to be like if they're going to learn in that way? So my name's Claire Louise Freeman. I'm the business owner of Zigs Exercise, and I'd like to encourage you to join me and my community online, where we get together via Zoom and we practice Pilates conditioning, yoga stretches, mobility. And the thing is, we get to actually talk through this stuff. We get to do it together. And to me, consistently doing it together is the thing that gives us much, much better results than if we're left flailing around in front of a video trying to do it all by ourselves. So if you'd like more information about joining me and others, please reach out, get in touch. You can work with us morning, evening, from the comfort of your own home. It's great because you get all the kit together at home, and it does help you to practice in between as well. So I'm offering a complimentary Kickstart call. We can talk through what's getting in the way, you know, why it's not worked so far. And sometimes the hardest bit is actually just picking up the phone and talking it through. So brave pants on. I work with all sorts of people from various walks of life, different shapes and sizes. And often people who do work with me do it because they say that I do it in a very non-judgmental way. Of course, it's free to talk, so you can click the link in the description box below and we can get to know each other and see if we're a good fit. There's no pressure here. On the call, I'll listen in to, you know, what you need support with, what your personal needs are, and I can answer any of your questions about our online Pilates and yoga, where we do it together in community. Why wait? This stuff doesn't get any easier as we get older. We work with lots of busy parents, grandparents, business owners, NHS professionals, private school teachers, regular school teachers. So if that feels like you and you need that support and accountability on getting it done, that's the thing. If we've got the sessions booked in regularly, that means we're much more likely to show up. And it's that regularity that people are often missing. You know, they take time off during holidays. It's the commitment that gets the motivation. So why wait? Book in, give me a call, and I'll see you on the other. And join me down onto your back on the mat. Arms wide. Drop your knees and move to the center. Dropping the knees over the other way. And do it again. Reach your arms away from your knees. Next level, bringing the knees up towards the chest and then over. Getting the knees a bit higher up. And let's do 4 more to mobilize our backs and our hips to the spine. Last couple. Breathe. And final one. I'm going to tap the toes and then hug the knees. So tap and then tuck the knees in. As you tuck, try to round your bottom. Next level, we'll come up to a seated position. So either staying with level 1 where you bring up your knees, or level 2 adding a roll, so we roll like a ball. Or level 3 we add some reach through the legs. Bending the legs and coming back in. Try to keep your chest lifted. And we do 2 more. final one. Alrighty, let's release. And from here, I'd like you to come over to all fours. So if you can join me down on the mat with your knees underneath your hip and your hands just slightly wider than your shoulders. I'd like you to reach out a leg and lift, pointing your toes. And then take your opposite arm in front. Can you touch your elbow and your knee together underneath your body? And we reach out, hold, 2, 3, and then round. Reach out, push the ground away, and then round. Do it again. Breathe in, reach, breathe out, and round. Inhale, reach, exhale, round. 2 more. Last one. And bringing ourselves back to all fours. Can we lift the leg on the other side? Take the opposite arm away. And bring the elbow to knee underneath. Inhale, reach. Exhale, and around. Do it again. Breathe, pushing the ground away on the hand that stays on the floor. And we do 2 more. Final one. And then from here, opening the knees, sit back, lengthen the arms either in a child pose, or if you join me in the downward dog. Now lifting the tailbone, pushing up with the bottom, pushing down with the heels. Now, if you're in the downward dog, you might want to do some foot calf mobilization by flexing your toes on the one side and pushing your heel down on the other. Breathe. And let's do 4 more. Breathe into your belly. And last couple. And the final one. We're going to take a walk with our feet towards our hands. And then coming down onto our backs. Taking the feet hip width and the palms to face up. Let's curl from the tailbone and move into shoulder bridge. So if you can lift your bottom up and then imprint down bone by bone. So again, curling up. I want you to squeeze your pelvic floor as you lift, squeeze your knees and push your feet down quite firmly. Do it again. Coming up. Now you can either stay with this version of the bridge or we're going to add in on the next one. We come up and hold at the top. Now can you keep your hips level as you float one leg up and place it down? The foot that stays on the floor, can you push it down firmly into the ground and then roll your body back to base. Let's do it again. Breathe, squeezing the buttocks, hovering the leg, giving that a go on the other side, and bringing your body back to base. For our third level, we're going to straighten the leg, bring it down so the heel touches the floor and back in, and then repeat the other side. So we straighten the leg, tap the heel on the floor, and roll back to base. So find your own level, make it your own thing. And we do a couple more. Breathe. Squeezing the pelvic floor. And final one. Breathe. Alrighty, from there, if we can bring our right knee up to the chest, extend the other leg. So we straighten that leg out. We're going to roll across the body with the knee, trailing the other arm behind. We can trail the back arm on the diagonal. Deep breath. Send the shoulder down. Breathe. And let's release. And if we can give that a go on the other side, bringing the knee up and across, placing the foot on the floor. And as you push the knee down, use this time as your deep breathing space. Inhaling through your nose. Long exhale out through your mouth. So again, deep breath. And one more deep breath. And let's release. We're going to roll to the center. And if we can hook our hands underneath the leg and come up to seated. So feet hip width. Now if you want to, you can use a strap under your feet. So if you grab your band, hook that around your feet to roll your body down, and then use it to lever yourself up for level 1 or level 2, coming down hands free. Our third level, adding some rotation in like this. We tap the shoulder down one side and then lift in the middle and then drop down into the other side. Breathe in as you drop, exhale as you lift. So try to keep that focus in on the breath. And we do 4 more. I think we can. Last couple. And final one. Alrighty, from there, let's come over to a kneeling position. Do this one standing with your hands against the wall if kneeling is tricky. So we're going to turn the palms and then place our hands on the ground. Dropping back. You can do it that way as well, Anne. You could do it that way against the wall if standing is better. Yeah. Try to press your shoulders down and then shake it out and give that another go. So we turn the palms to face up, and then if you're doing the seated one, get your fingers towards your knees and sit down into it. Breathe. And shake it out. So do that one more time. So turn the palms up. Pointing the fingers towards the knees as we drop. Breathe. And shaking it out. And now from here, we're going to park over this way. So we go over the hands. So we're now on the back of the palm. And sit down into it. We're doing the kneeling version, but try to rotate your limb so that your hand does this, or your elbow does this and rotates. So if you're doing a standing version, Anne, you can do it like that against the wall. Your palms face that way. That's it. And then shaking out. And let's give that another go. We tuck the fingertips in towards the forearm and then push down into the ground and rotate the limbs. That's it. And try to press your shoulders down as you do it. Breathe and shake it out. So great for our wrists and our forearm flexibility. Can you find a drink? So let's keep topped up. So up to standing, if you can find some weights. You can do it unweighted if you prefer. Alrighty, so we're going to park our feet out. Soften the knees. And if you can sink down, down, and then lift. And let's do it again. Lift, sister. Coming down, down, and release. Okay, we're going to fold the weight towards the shoulder and then release. Do it again. Folding through and then release. Next level, adding some reach and lift forwards. One more advanced, we come up, overhead. Breathe. Do 3 more. And last couple. Final one. Alrighty, bringing our feet together, rolling the shoulders, holding the weights. We come up by the ears, squeeze and press down. You can either stay with this or to test your balance, rising onto tiptoe, doing a little tiptoe tightrope walk. And then try it backwards on the tippy toes. And again, coming forwards, mobilizing the joints in the shoulder at the same time as testing our balance. And walking back. Alrighty, we're resting off. If you can join me down on the back. I'd like you to slide your fingertips into the curve of your lower back. We've got the fingertips touched together. Drawing the belly button muscle in. Hovering through a knee and then circling out and around. Can we keep good pressure on the hands as we circle out and around? Level 1, we've got 1 foot on the floor. At level 2, we're hovering both legs. One leg still, but the other leg bent. And then reversing the circle. We keep that pressure on the hands fairly even. Or is it moving around lots? Pull your belly button in. Help you stabilize. Breathe. And relax down. So we're going to repeat, imprinting onto the hands, pulling the belly button muscle in. So level 1, we hover and circle. Level 2, the other leg gets hovered as well. Pointing the toes. Point your toes quite firmly. Breathe. And reversing back in the opposite direction. Alrighty, from there we're going to roll to our side and come up to a seated position. got our feet nice and wide. Now, if it helps your posture, you might find sitting on a cushion or a yoga block or a little wedge or your trainer or something just to lift your pelvis so that you can sit up well. We're going to point the toes with the palms facing up. And then as you lean to the side, can you flex and catch hold of your foot, or it might be your shin or your ankle, whatever you can get hold of, what's doable. And then come up, pointing your toes. And then leaning over the other way. Down, down, down. Breathe in, pointing the toes. Breathe out as you lean. 1, 2, 3. And coming back up. And gradually going that little bit further down. Now, if you can get a hold with the other hand of the foot, we can start to go a little bit further by scooping the bottom arm away like this. Inhaling and lifting. Exhaling and leaning. And we go a bit further. You might go wider. You might be doing enough as you are. Last couple. Alrighty, we're going to point the toes and take a walk forwards with our hands, bringing our chest down towards the ground. Walking the hands back in and flexing the feet. So keeping the feet flexed. Now I'm going to walk forwards again. And walk back in. Pointing the toes. Coming forwards with the pointy toes. And coming back. Flexing. And then pointing. And one more time. Breathe. All the way down. Alrighty, shake a leg. We're going to come up to standing for some yoga poses. Now, Liv, if the standing stuff isn't doable today, you could always repeat either that one or the one where we have the hands underneath the back. We're going to move into a lunge position where we've got one hand flat on the floor, and we're going to reach up. Stretch here. Straightening the back leg out, but bending into the front leg. Breathing deeply. And from there, we're going to bring that hand down. We're going to leave this foot turned out, but we're going to angle in at 45 over here as we move into our triangle pose. Breathing deeply. Alrighty, let's give that a go on the other side. So we bend the knee, bringing our opposite hand to the floor. Turning with the other arm up towards the ceiling. Deep breath. Switching into our yoga triangle pose. Lengthening up with our top arm. Reaching the fingers towards the ceiling. Breathe. Bending into the knee, and if we can meet up in our downward dog. So lifting the tailbone in the air. Pressing down with the heels. Or we can move it into our child pose. Deep breath. You close your eyes for a moment as you breathe deeply. Just take a moment to remind yourself why you're doing this practice. Just remind yourself of the intention behind what you're doing. One more deep breath. And let's take a walk with our feet towards our hands. Now, for those of you using ankle weights, now's a good time to grab them. So if you can find some weights, you might need a stick as well as we move into doing some oysters. So you can either do the oysters with the stick to check in on your posture and we'll work on mobility, or if you want to do them weighted, then of course that helps us to up level into more strength training around our hips and around our muscles and our bones there. Okay, so if you come and lay down onto your side, just grabbing a stick. If we can pop the stick behind the back and the knees up in front and the feet forwards. Try to lift your waistline up away from the ground. I'm going to hover the top leg as we point the toes and roll the knee back. 1. Now, as you roll it back, 2, try to squeeze your buttocks and point your toes, and then hover so that that leg doesn't drop down. It just stays hovered. We point up 1, up 2, up 3, and then hover down. Our first level, concentrating on that with the waistline lifted and the hips nice and steady. Our next level, we're going to open and then reach the toes up, control on the way down, and bend on the way in. We open the knee, reach up to the ceiling, control on the way down, and bend on the way in. Find your level. Our third, more advanced option today, we come up into a plank. A side plank with the elbow like this on the ground. And last couple. Breathe. Final one. And let's release. And we'll give that a go on the other side. You want to gradually build up through the levels on these to help to progress your stamina and strength. Just start with a stick again, attached to your head, shoulders and tailbone, knees in front, with that little bit of lift in the waistline, pointing the toes as we roll back 1, back 2, back 3, and flex your feet as you hover. Point your toes as you come up, really point them quite firmly. Notice the difference that makes higher up the leg. We point, back 1, back 2, 3, and then if you're adding in that next layer, as you roll the knee back, try to keep the leg rotated back as you go into that straight leg reach. We open, keep rotating the leg back, but without rolling the hip back. Breathe. And for those of you who want to move into tougher option, we come up into that side plank. Breathe. Can we do 3 more? And last couple. Final one. And let's release. And from there, we over to our backs. Bringing our right leg over our left. And popping the hands just at the back of the thigh as we pull in for a glute stretch. You can leave that bottom foot on the floor and you do this. So you push the knee out for level 1. For level 2, use the hands to pull in. Use the elbow to push out. For third level today, we'll interlock around the front of the shin. Breathing deeply. Let's release and switch the leg over. So find your level on the other side, either one like this with one foot on the floor, pushing out with the knee. Level 2, using the elbow to push out. Breathing into the stretch. Interlocking the fingers around the front of the shin. Inhaling through the nose. And a long exhale out through the mouth. And here we're going to roll to our front. So laying down onto our front. Again, you can do it with or without weights. Now notice where my hands are positioned like this under my forehead and the heels are touched together. And we're going to float one leg off the floor, but ideally we want to keep both hips down. So we lift the leg for the count of 3 and then lower, keeping the hip bones sandwiched down as we push the leg up and then lower. So if you do it with me, coming up 1, up 2, up 3, and then drop. And again, up 1, up 2, up 3, and then drop. Now, if you've got a stronger, happy, healthy back, you might lift both of the legs. Or more advanced still, we add some lift in the upper body. So make it your own, find your level. We're going to do 4 more. Breathing in on the lift, breathing out on the lower. So last couple. And final one. And then from there, we're going to take hold of one of the feet and bring the heel towards the bottom with the knees together. Pressing the pubic bone down, bringing your heel towards your bottom, breathing into the stretch. Ideally, if these are tricky to do, you want to be practicing them a couple of times a day to help improve mobility and flexibility. And each time you hold them, holding them about 30 seconds as a minimum each time. Let's give that a go on the other side. We're catching hold of the foot, and if these muscles are left without good length in them, they can really affect our ability to balance, to stand upright. So actually, they're pretty important stretches. Over time, you want to aim towards getting the heel on the bottom, which will allow us to be upright throughout our day. Alrighty, let's release. And if you can roll over onto your back, just going to pop the weights off. And we'll move into some relaxation, visualization time for our week. You can pop your hands on top of your belly Close your eyes for a moment. Just take a moment to thank your body for showing up and getting it done today. Thanking our bodies for the movement it gives us each day and the ability of our body to function each day to help us go about our day. Rest, allow your teeth to open. Relax around the jaw. And just noticing all the little muscles around the eyes. With your eyes closed, I'd like you to circle your eyes. So you sort of circle them over to 3 o'clock, down to 6 o'clock, to 9 o'clock, and then up to 12, and then back the other way. To 9, to 6, to 3, and then repeat again. Circling your eyes around the numbers in the clock face and then anti-clockwise. Doing that all the time each way, because let's not forget we do have muscles at the back of our eyeballs, which helps our vision throughout our day. Definitely something to be mindful and thankful for. I'm watching a bit of Strictly lately. I'm intrigued by the guy who's doesn't really have much sight. You can scan down and notice you're carrying any bits of tension in your shoulders. Allowing your shoulders to soften. In your arms. And just noticing the temperature in your hands and fingers. And the belly rising and falling underneath the hands. Do a little mindful breathing exercise known as castle breathing today. This is where you come up to the top of the breath for the count of 4 and then pause for 4 and down the other side, exhale for 4 and then along, holding for 4. So if you could breathe in for 4, pause your breath for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. In 4, pause for 4, exhale for 4, pause for 4. In for 4, pause for 4, breathe out. In for 4, pause for 4, exhale, hold for 4. Breathing, settle back into its natural rhythm. Attention back to the rising and the falling of the belly, underneath the hands. Noticing the sense of internal space inside the abdomen. Through the legs, through the knees, down into the ankles. And conscious of the sensation in the feet and the toes. And how do you feel now? And taking a moment just to scan across your week and map out a physical activity journey this week. Get out in nature and practice again. Just touching on each day of the week, taking a moment to concentrate, and we'll keep the movement going. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Reminding ourselves that our movement is our medicine and contributes to our health and wellness each day. We're going to open our eyes, and when you're ready, if you can roll to your side, we'll sit up and I'm going to take a little stretch for our necks. So if you can allow your head to drop over to one side, let the weight of the head drop itself, and allow the head to roll down, around, and back over to the other side. Again, just letting the weight of the head, stretching forwards, and dropping the head down so that the chin sits to the chest, and popping the hands just at the back of the head, applying a little bit of pressure down. Breathe. Let's release, keeping one hand just here on the top of the head, but then turning so that the chin goes towards the armpit, and a gentle pull. The back of the skull. Stretch. Breathe. And then release. And bringing the other hand on the top. And sliding the hand to the back of the skull. Chin down. Breathe. Well, that's made a difference. If you'd like to hit your unmute when you're ready.